I can't think of a better, uh, resolution to the lawsuit. I really dreaded it. I really was afraid of what was going to happen with our sport going forward.
Mark Martin never planned to be the man who changed NASCAR's championship. Years later, he found himself inside a NASCAR meeting where the rules of winning were on the table. What he said in that room forced the sport to abandon its most controversial format, and the decision will change how champions are crowned in 2026. Mark Martin never wanted to be the center of another NASCAR controversy. For decades, fans knew him as one of the cleanest racers the sport ever produced. A driver who believed championships were earned through consistency, discipline, and respect for the grind of a full season. 7 times, he came painfully close to a Cup Series title. 7 times, he watched it slip away. When NASCAR changed its championship system in the early 2000s, many fans believed Mark Martin became the symbol of everything that was lost. Now, in 2026, he finds himself right back in the middle of it. This time, not behind the wheel, but inside the room where NASCAR decided to rewrite the future of its championship. When NASCAR announced it was ending the elimination-style playoff format and bringing back a version of the chase for 2026, the reaction was immediate. Some fans celebrated, others questioned whether it went far enough. And, quietly, many wondered how this decision finally happened after years of resistance. The answer leads directly to Mark Martin. Behind closed doors, NASCAR formed a competition committee made up of executives, team representatives, and respected voices from the sport's past. Mark Martin was one of them. Not as a figurehead, not as a ceremonial presence, but as someone asked to speak honestly about what fans had been saying for more than a decade. What he found himself doing was far harder than people realize. Martin admitted later that he struggled with the role. He knew the moment he pushed for change, he would be stepping into a political storm. He also knew he could not ignore what fans told him everywhere he went. At short tracks, at autograph lines, at charity events. The message was always the same. The championship does not feel real anymore. For years, NASCAR defended the elimination playoff system as exciting, unpredictable, and television-friendly. Win and you are in became the slogan. Drama was the selling point. But over time, something started to crack. Champions were crowned after bad seasons. Consistency stopped mattering. Entire months of racing felt irrelevant once the postseason began. Martin took that message directly into the room. He argued for a full season points championship.
Well, I think it was a win for everyone. It was a win for the fans. It was a win for NASCAR to get it behind them. And it was a win for the teams. I can't think of a better resolution to the lawsuit. I really dreaded it. I really was afraid of what was going to happen with our sport going forward.
36 races, 1 standings table, no resets, no eliminations. The driver who performs best from February to November wins. Simple, honest, traditional. But reality hit hard. According to Martin, the pushback was immediate. Television contracts are built around playoff drama. Track owners rely on late-season excitement to sell tickets. Sponsors want moments, not math. Changing the entire structure overnight would have sent shockwaves through the business side of NASCAR. Martin admitted those conversations were some of the most difficult he has ever been part of. He described the negotiations as tense, emotional, at times uncomfortable. He worried about being seen as out of touch, or worse, as someone living in the past. Still, he refused to back down. Instead, he pushed for compromise. What emerged was the 2026 championship format. The elimination rounds are gone. No more cut lines after every few races. No more seasons ended by one bad restart or a single mechanical failure. In their place is a 10-race chase. 16 drivers qualify based on regular season points. Every race matters again, from the first green flag of the year to the final lap of the finale. Once the chase begins, there are no resets, no artificial drama, no winner-take-all finale. The champion is simply the driver who scores the most points over those 10 races. Martin calls it the best compromise possible. He is clear about one thing. This is not the perfect system. It is not the full season championship he wanted, but it is a massive step away from what he believes was damaging the sport. For the first time in more than a decade, consistency is rewarded again. Speed alone is not enough. A driver cannot disappear for months and suddenly become champion. Reliability matters. Strategy matters. Finishing races matters. Points racing is back in a meaningful way. Martin believes this will change how teams approach the entire season. No more riding safely until the playoffs. No more desperate gamble wins to lock into a format that resets everything. Every stage, every finish, every point carries weight. He also believes fans will feel the difference immediately. One of the biggest criticisms of the elimination playoffs was confusion. Casual fans struggled to follow cut lines, bonus points, stage points, playoff points, and reset math. The chase is simpler, easier to understand, easier to explain, easier to care about. That matters in 2026 more than ever. NASCAR has spent years fighting declining ratings and fractured fan loyalty. Younger audiences want authenticity. Older fans want tradition. The elimination playoffs pleased neither group completely. Martin believes the chase format bridges that gap. He has also made it clear that this is not the end of the conversation. He sees this change as a starting point. If fans respond positively, if ratings stabilize, if teams buy in, then future adjustments are possible. But none of that happens without taking this step first. There is also a deeply personal layer to this story. Mark Martin never won a Cup championship. Under the old season-long format, many believe he would have. In 1998, he lost the title to Jeff Gordon, despite winning 7 races and finishing second or better in half the season. Under the elimination format, his consistency would have been punished even more harshly. Yet Martin insists this was never about rewriting his own legacy. He says his motivation was always about fairness, about honoring the grind drivers endure, about making sure the champion reflects the season, not a moment. That belief shaped every argument he made in the room. He also acknowledges that not everyone will be happy. Some fans want total chaos. Others want the old Winston Cup system restored exactly as it was. Some think 16 drivers is too many. Others think 10 races is too short. Martin accepts all of that. He says the goal was never to make everyone happy. The goal was to make the championship meaningful again. As 2026 approaches, the impact of this decision will be felt everywhere. Crew chiefs will rethink strategy. Drivers will race differently in July and August. Broadcasters will tell longer stories. Fans will track points again. And at the center of it all is a man who knows better than anyone what it feels like to lose a championship by inches. Mark Martin stepped into an uncomfortable role because he believed NASCAR needed honesty more than noise. He stood between the sport's past and its future. He pushed for change knowing compromise was inevitable. Whether this new chase era succeeds or not, one thing is clear. For the first time in years, NASCAR is listening again. And that might matter more than any format ever could.